Welcome to Kids Academy.
Hello and welcome to this video. Today we'll be talking about discovered check. And a discovered check is when you move a piece and the piece you move doesn't give the check, but it opens up a piece behind it that is now able to see the king or check the king. What makes discovered check so powerful is that not only do you unlock a piece that can perform a threat, perform an attack, but the piece you move can also attack something. So it's very similar to a double attack, except we are revealing a piece that does an attack, as well as moving a piece that does an attack. So here's an example. It's white to play. And notice how the white rook is lined up with the king. So anywhere this bishop moves, anywhere the bishop on e4 goes, it will be a check. The rook will be unlocked, the rook will be opened up, and it will check the king. The real question is, what is the best square for this bishop to go to? Can this bishop do an attack on its own, while simultaneously checking the king with the rook? Well, I see two very good squares for this bishop. We could play bishop c6 or bishop c2. Both of these moves attack the queen and they unlock the rook. Bishop c6 actually happens to be a double check as well. Bishop c2 is very nice. It's a single check from the rook and the bishop attacks the queen. Notice how even though the bishop is in danger from the queen is attacking the bishop. Black doesn't have time to make this move. We have to save the king. So after the king moves, we are now able to capture the queen. It's very important that you realize we have two threats here. Threat number one is the rook checking the king, and the second threat is the bishop attacking the queen. Okay, in this game we are black. Ask yourselves, which pieces are lined up? Can I move a piece to reveal a piece behind it? Well, right away I see that a lot of things are happening on this light square diagonal. The bishop, the rook, the king are all here. Anywhere this rook moves, it'll be a check. The question is, where should this rook go to be the most efficient possible, to capture the most material possible, or maybe there's even a checkmate? Well, right away, I see Rook G7 check. This is the first thing I saw, and probably the first thing you saw as well. The idea being that not only does the bishop attack the king, the rook attacks the queen. There's one problem though. Yes, the king is in check, one threat. Yes, the queen is being attacked, a second threat. But white has a very nice move here to solve all of its problems. And the reply white has, bishop gets captured. The queen captures e4, saves the queen, saves the king, captures the black piece. So we have to be a little bit careful. This one's a little bit tricky. Rook g7 runs into queen takes e4. Where else could the rook go? I like the move Rook g1. This move is okay. It's now a double check. Both pieces are attacking the king. It's also a discovered check. After the king captures the rook, we were able to capture the queen. We got a 9-point queen. We lost a 5-point rook. But here, the best black can hope for is a draw. We know that black can't checkmate with just a king and a bishop against the king. The best black can do here is get a tie, is get a draw. So let's see if there's something even more. So it turns out black's best move is actually Rook G6 Check. Rook G6 is a very nice move because it blocks the queen. It interposes itself from the queen attacking the bishop. And notice how the rook is still patrolling the G file, guarding the G squares. White has only one move to get out of check. Can you find it? Well, thinking about CPR, can't capture, can't run away. The black rook is guarding these squares. White must block with the pawn, at which point bishop takes f3 is mate. So a little bit of a trickier puzzle. But the idea is the same. We're trying to figure out when a piece of ours can be unlocked to do a check, where should the front piece move to be most effective? Okay, once again, this bishop's attacking the queen, this bishop's attacking the king. Where should this rook go? we'll move like Rook C2 check, attacking the queen, attacking the king. That'll just lose the black bishop. We don't want that to happen. I think black's best move, maybe you found this, Rook D2 check. We guard our bishop. The bishop is the one that's doing the discovered attack. In this case, the bishop is also doing a double attack, attacking the king and the queen. And the rook's job is to protect the bishop. White only has two choices. Both of them lose the queen. If the king goes to b1, we capture the queen. If the queen captures the bishop, we capture the queen. And this should be an easy win for black. Our fourth and final puzzle. Black to move. What is black's best move here? Remember, look at pieces that are lined up. Which black piece can be moved to reveal a check, and where should that piece go to? The best move here is Rook G6 check. This white king is in a very awkward position, especially since he doesn't have these white squares to move to. The kings are facing off, so all those squares are under the black king's control. The rook is guarding the g file. This is almost checkmate. In fact, white only has one move. White must sacrifice the bishop. Sacrifice the queen and capture the bishop. And now we see why we played the move Rook G6. The rook is protecting the bishop. So after queen takes, rook takes, and once again, this is an easy end game for black to win. Rook H5, not as strong. Rook H5 is still a discovered check, but now without the rook on the g file, the king can play king g4 or king g3, and white is not obligated to sacrifice the queen. So this was a very short introduction on discovered checks, but a discovered check, going back to our first example, is when you move a piece and you reveal a piece behind it. You discover a piece behind it that is able to check the king. It's a very powerful move because, number one, it's a forcing move. Your opponent must respond to the check. And secondly, the front piece, the piece that you actually move, can perform a threat of its own. So in the example, we saw bishop c2, threat number 1 against the queen, threat number 2 against the king. Very difficult to defend both of these. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.